So, what is an NSS boycott? What is a national ballot? Why do these things need risk assessing? And generally, what is going on? First, let's start with some acronyms. The NUS is the National Union of Students. It's the body that represents all 7 million students in the UK and provides things like your NUS card, as well as support for your student union here on campus. The TEF is a teaching excellence framework, and it is a framework developed by the government to judge universities on their quality of teaching. Criticisms of this new framework are that it doesn't do a good job of judging excellence, it unfairly puts up student fees, and it unfairly targets innocent groups like international students. The NSS is the National Student Survey. This is a survey that is filled in by every third year at every university in the UK. This survey is used to create the national rankings that you'll see in the Times newspaper and other places, but it also feeds into what I mentioned before, the TEF. At NUS conference in April this year, policy was passed that said that the NUS should encourage student unions to boycott or sabotage the NSS in order to stop the government from using it to create the TEF, which allows them to put up fees. The group that believe in doing this say that the government shouldn't be allowed to use our feedback mechanism to put up our fees. They believe that if you don't give them the data, then the TEF won't happen and then the fees won't be able to go up. On the other side of the argument, there's a group that say that a boycott or a sabotage of the NSS should never happen. They believe that while it might work at institutions like Oxford or Cambridge, at smaller, younger institutions like Middlesex, they believe that it could be damaging and they never want an NSS boycott to happen. As well as this, there is a third group of students who say that while it is unfair that the government are using our feedback mechanism to raise our fees, they're still worried about the impact on universities like Middlesex and especially on diverse student bodies. In order to fix this problem, they got a group of 50 student unions together, including your student union, MDXSU, to call for the first ever national ballot in NUS history, asking this question. Should NUS conduct and publish a risk assessment and an equality impact assessment before finalising any NSS boycott or sabotage action? Put simply, should the NUS make sure that doing an NSS boycott is safe before they do it, or should they get it done quickly so that it will have maximum impact? I've asked a representative from each side of the debate to submit a short video explaining why they're voting the way that they are voting.
Hi everyone, I'm James Elliott, I'm NUS's Disabled Students Officer, and I'm here to argue why you should vote against the national ballot to have a risk assessment and an equality impact assessment on whether or not we should boycott the National Student Survey. The first reason for this is that the NSS boycott will go ahead regardless of the result of the national ballot. That's because NUS National Conference voted and decided to take this. There's lots of student unions from across the UK voting on it, and the national ballot can't overturn that decision. The second reason is that lots of the risks have already been considered. There was a consultation all last summer open, lots of student unions filled it out. The risks were taken into consideration, and that's why we decided to have a boycott, which is not filling out the NSS rather than a sabotage.
Hi, my name's Dave. I'm President of the University of West London Students' Union. I'm here to tell you why you should vote yes for NUS to conduct an equality impact assessment and a risk assessment on the action to boycott the NSS. It's not just the risk assessment that we need, it's the equality impact assessment that's going to assess how this action is going to disproportionately affect unions, universities, students and their degrees around the country. I believe that it's smaller modern universities like mine and yours that are going to be affected the most. Long story short, it could potentially damage the value of your degrees, it could definitely damage the relationship between the union and the university. So before unions around the country make a decision on whether they're going to boycott the NSS or not, they need to be in possession of all the facts before they make a decision that could potentially affect millions of degrees.
So there you go, that's the situation and that's what both sides think. All that's left to do is to make up your mind and then come along to our Student Leaders Conference in MDX House on the 5th of December at 6 PM and cast your vote. Or if you're not a student voice leader, get in touch with your student voice leader and ask them to cast their vote for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to pop down to the MDXSU welcome desk and ask to see me, and I'll be more than happy to chat through anything that you want to talk about. But otherwise, I'll see you at 6 PM on the 5th of December in MDX House for Student Leaders Conference. Thank you.